Morning students. As you can see, today I am going to throw light on one of your poems, Amanda. It's a very touching and didactic poem. I must say, didactic poems or didactic stories are those stories or poems that give certain messages. Here, before going into that one in detail, here I would like to first of all throw light on the writer of the poem who has composed this poem, Robin Klein. She is an Australian poet, as you can see here, born in New South Wales in Australia. Basically, she had written most of her poem connected to children. Basically, she had done a lot of work. She had chanced her luck as a civil servant, a public servant in various government jobs and government and private sectors, but ultimately she established herself as a poet, and she was being recognized as one of the best poet that the country has ever produced for children in particular. Now let us come back to the theme of this poem, Amanda. As the name itself suggests, this is the poem about a little girl, Amanda, and the theme is also surrounding and circulating around that one. When we grow up, in our childhood days, we had a lot of fantasies. We think a lot whenever we come across our friends, relatives. We have a sort of moving targets. Suppose even you would have met some of your friends, some of your relatives, some of your fellow mates. You'd have also been influenced by them pursuing particular career in your future when you also grow up. So we may say that as a child we have a lot of moving targets in any field. As a grown-up, if you have been influenced by a particular actor or actresses, you want to go into the field of acting. Suppose some sportsman has influenced you, you want to pursue or you become the fan of that particular sports person. So some of you want to pursue a particular career in the field of science. Somebody wants to become a scientist. If somebody has been saying the flying aeroplane, want to become a pilot. So that is what I have told. We have a lot of moving targets. And we are free to imagine. A lot of fantasies are there. But when we grow up, adulthood starts, adolescence starts, then the control of the parent and guardian also is starting upon us. We have to abandon, we have to leave, we have to sacrifice many of the things, and we have been restricted and controlled by many rules and regulations of the society, many decorums. And we at times had been told by our parents, guardians, elders, seniors, don't do this, don't do that. And that is what you see the contrast. Till yesterday, we lived a very free and liberal life in imagination, in practice, in thoughts. And now, the moment we enter into adolescence, the moment we become adult, we have been controlled by many guidelines. And a sort of resentment, a sort of unacceptance is been somewhere targeting everywhere in our life. That is what the theme of this poem is. And especially if the child is a girl, okay, in any society throughout the world, we know that one, we are living in a patriarchal, male-dominant society. And especially the girl child are being bound with many restrictions in the name of mannerism and many such things. Don't do this, don't do that, don't sit like this, don't talk to them, don't talk to him or her. behave in such a way. You need to suppose in Indian mindset, for example, in our background, no matter how much a genius student you are, but then you need to have good into the cooking also, because your parent, your mother in particular, would have been suggesting you and guiding you that when you tomorrow go into your or enter into a marital life, you will be judged in accordance to how much good you are a cook in the kitchen. So these are the certain realities where we at times need to sacrifice also. We are feeling uncomfortable, and that this sort of discomfort is very beautifully painted in this poem by the poetess here, that is Robin Klein. Okay, this is the main theme. This is the poem about Amanda, and you see the lines of the poem also. You see the restrictions that has been imposed on a girl child here in the case of Amanda. That you see the poem started like this: "Don't bite your nails, Amanda." Is it a poem? No. It's the instruction in a plain, simple, lucid way has been very beautifully painted and portrayed in the poem by the poetess. Okay? Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. You see the hunching is what? Drooping. When you have been sitting straight and then bending your shoulder is that drooping, wo jo झुक करके बैठना होता है. So don't sit like that one. These are particular instructions given to the girl. Sit straight. Don't sit lazily. You see another word for the laziness is been here, the slouching. Okay. So you are supposed to be very much active all the time, very much attentive all the time, which is almost impossible for any human beings to practice. But then expectations are sky high. Okay. And this is what here the speaker is not being properly told, but we can understand. Normally the mother used to give this sort of the instruction. So you can write here whenever the explanation sort of a thing has been asked from the question, from this particular poem. You can figure out your answer in the form of a narrator. The narrator is supposed to be the mother of Amanda. She is guiding Amanda that don't bite your nails, Amanda. Sit straight in particular. So don't hunch your shoulder, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So you see, each and every line is a type of what? Commandment. It's a type of a restriction in the name of the command, which Amanda is not liking. The contrast, she always wanted to live a free life, as we all do when we are in our childhood days. We damn care with whom we are playing. When we are playing, what we are doing only for the doing sake, and we are doing for the pleasure sake. But when we grow up, there are many restrictions in the name of discipline and mannerism, especially the girl child. Don't play with them, don't talk with them. This is what Amanda sort of resentment. She feels upset. She wants to feel live a very free life. Okay, and that is what when we go deeper into the poem, you see her imagination is always careless, irrespective of the command given by the narrator. Here I assume that the narrator is the mother, so I may use the word mother also. Okay, so the mother of Amanda telling her that sit straight, Amanda, don't sit lazy, Amanda, show. But then there is now here Amanda's feeling is been expressed into these lines first now. Current is a precious stone, normally greenish in color. When we see the green water of the sea, it is appearing blue-green sort of a thing. So that is what it looks very beautiful. Okay. Now she is been imagining. She is imagining what? That she is on the side of a sea. That is, she is on the seashore, the coastal area, and where the sole inhabitant is me. This is what who is telling it. This is Amanda imagining and telling. These are the lines. Poet is writing for Amanda and is speaking truth. So first paragraph is supposed to be commanded by her mother. The second paragraph is Amanda herself. She is imagining herself on the side of the sea, on the bank of the on the shore of the sea, and where she is imagining that she is the only inhabitant, the only person she is standing on the coastal area. Okay, nobody else, because whenever we come in the company of the people or in the crowd, we have to follow many rules and regulations, and that she wanted always to remain free. Okay, so you see where the sole inhabitant is me, and who is me indicating in the poem? Amanda herself. And mermaid is a supernatural character, okay, where she is a fairy in the fairy tale. She is a beautiful girl with the body of a human being and the tail of a fish, okay. So she is being drifting is the slow movement, drifting, waves, tides, these are all the current, these are all the movement of the sea water. So what sort of a drifting was? So drifting is the movement of the sea water in a very plastic way in a particular direction. So here drifting means moving. So she is imagining herself like that of a beautiful woman, that is mermaid, is alone standing and enjoying the surrounding of the sea, which sea is very placid, is very beautiful, very green sea, okay, and she's been very happily, happily, joyfully, enjoyably, she's been enjoying and moving into the sea water without being noticed by anybody and without being commanded by anybody or restricted or blocked by anybody to what to do and what not to do. So she is in these paragraphs imagining herself to be a mermaid. These are the certain things that you need to especially focus upon, because the questions will be figuring out like this. Okay, in the second, suppose in the given line, this sort of the question has been asked in the CBSE. In the given line, what is she comparing herself with? She's been comparing herself with the mermaid. What is mermaid? Who is mermaid? So it's a beautiful imaginary fairy character with the body of a woman and tail of a fish. Okay. Now once again the line of the narrator, now the mother. You see the contrast, see the trouble that he's been facing, and this is what the normal, general, day-to-day life picture of everybody. We want to do something, we want to live a free life. Our parents, our seniors, our elders think that they better think for ourselves. Whatever they are thinking is good for ourselves, and we at times feel chained, we at times feel enslaved, and we want to break those slavery of the mannerism, discipline and